My farm used to be my sanctuary. 50 acres of peace and quiet. No traffic. No noise. Just me, my family, my animals, and a long dirt road that connected us to the highway. That road's technically a private easement. For years, the neighbors and I had an understanding. Drive slow. Keep the dust down. Watch out for kids and animals. 10 miles per hour max. Everyone respected it. Then the new subdivision went up half a mile down the road. Cookie-cutter houses, manicured lawns, and an HOA that thought they ran the world. That's when Karen showed up. First time I saw her, she was doing at least 40 down my dirt road in a red Lexus. Dust clouds so thick I couldn't see 20 feet in front of me. I flagged her down. Polite. Friendly. Hey, just so you know, this is a private road. We all keep it under 10 to avoid dust and keep the kids safe. She looked at me like I just asked her to donate a kidney. Rolled her eyes. Scoffed. This is the fastest route to the highway. If you don't like dust, maybe you should pave your little path. Then she gunned it. Left me standing there coughing in a cloud of dirt. I figured it was a one-time thing. New neighbor. Didn't know the area yet. I was wrong. She did again the next day. And the day after that. And the day after that. Multiple times a day. Every single day. My animals started spooking. My kids couldn't play outside. My house was constantly covered in grime. I tried waving her down again. She ignored me. Put up signs. Private road. Slowed down. Next day. Gone. Ripped right off the posts. I installed a rope barrier across the road. She drove straight through it. Snapped the rope like it was nothing. And that's when I realized. This wasn't ignorance. This was war. I tried talking to her husband. Knocked on their door one afternoon. Nice house. Perfect landscaping. The kind of place where every blade of grass is exactly the same height. He answered. Looked tired. Like a man who'd given up a long time ago. Hey, I'm your neighbor down the road. I was hoping we could talk about. Let me stop you right there, he said. Held up his hands. Happy wife, happy life, man. I'm not getting involved. Then he closed the door. I stood there for a minute, staring at that perfect door on that perfect house. Then I called the sheriff. Deputy showed up an hour later. Took my report. Drove down to Karen's house and had a conversation. For exactly one day. She slowed down. One day. Then she was right back at it. Maybe even faster. Like she was doing it out of spite now. I called the deputy again. Look, he said, sounding genuinely sorry. It's a private road. We can talk to her, but we can't enforce traffic laws on private property. This is a civil matter. You'd have to take her to court. How long would that take? Months. Maybe a year. And it's expensive. I hung up. Stood there in my driveway, watching another dust cloud rise as Karen flew past doing 50. I felt completely powerless. This woman was destroying my peace. My kids couldn't play. My animals were stressed. My house looked like it was coated in cement dust. And there was nothing I could do. Or so I thought. That weekend, I was cleaning out my old barn, moving boxes, sorting through my grandfather's old equipment. And that's when I found it. A box of rusted metal strips. Originally part of a farm harrow. I stood there, holding one of those strips, and an idea started to form. A beautiful, devious, perfectly legal idea. I wasn't going to do anything crazy. I'm not trying to hurt anyone or end up in a lawsuit. I just needed to make speeding down my road so unpleasant that she'd stop doing it. I needed consequences. Real ones. So I went to the hardware store. Bought a few dozen 3-inch deck screws. Picked up some sturdy wooden planks. Back home, I got to work. I drove those screws through the planks so the sharp points stuck out the other side. Not long enough to shred a tire completely, but definitely sharp enough to puncture one if you hit them going fast. Homemade spike strips. Low-tech. Effective. But I wasn't just going to leave them sitting in the middle of the road. That's obvious. Dangerous. Stupid. No, I was going to bury them. I spent a few days watching Karen's route. She always took the same line down the road. Always cut the same corner. Predictable. Late that night, I grabbed a shovel and went to work. I dug shallow trenches, just a few inches deep, right where her tires would hit if she was speeding. Placed the planks in the dirt, sharp side up. Then I covered them, smoothed the dirt over the top, made it look completely natural. From a car, you couldn't tell. The road looked exactly the same. But underneath, a nasty little surprise. I finished around midnight. Stepped back, looked at my work. You couldn't see a thing. Perfect. The next morning, I made coffee, sat on my porch, and waited. It felt like waiting for a mousetrap to snap. Except the mouse was a red Lexus doing 40 in a 10. 8:15 a.m. Right on schedule. I heard the engine. Saw the dust cloud rising over the hill. Karen was coming, and she had no idea what was about to happen. I took a sip of coffee. This was going to be good. She came flying over the hill, like she always did. Red Lexus. Dust plume rising behind her. Engine whining. Doing at least 45. Then thump. Her front left tire hit the first plank. Half a second later, thump. The right tire caught the second one. The car lurched. Hard. You could see it even from the porch. She slammed on the brakes. The Lexus skidded sideways, tires screaming, kicking up a massive cloud of dust and panic. It finally stopped, dead center in the middle of my road. Both front tires completely flat. I had to bite my lip to keep from smiling. Karen stumbled out of the car. Hair a mess. Face bright red. She looked at her tires and let out a shriek that probably scared every bird within a mile. I set down my coffee, stood up, walked down the driveway nice and slow, trying real hard to look concerned. Wow, Karen, I said. Looks like you've got some car trouble there. She whipped around, pointed a shaking finger at me. You did this. I blinked, all innocent. Did what? Don't play dumb with me. I'm calling the police. I'm going to sue you. Sue me for what? I asked, genuinely curious. For having a dirt road? You put something in the road. I shrugged, looked around. I mean, it's a poorly maintained road, Karen. I've been meaning to grade it, but it's hard to get any work done when people keep speeding through here. I paused. Let that sink in. Good thing you weren't going too fast, though. Imagine if you'd lost control. Someone could have gotten really hurt. Her face went from red to purple. She knew. She absolutely knew I did it. But standing there, staring at two flat tires on a dirt road, she couldn't prove a damn thing. The tow truck took over an hour to arrive, and when it did, the driver took one look at that long dirt road and shook his head. Off-road recovery's gonna cost you extra, ma'am. Karen's face went even redder. I watched the whole thing from my porch, sipping my coffee, enjoying the show. They had to winch the Lexus onto the flatbed. Took forever. Karen stood there the entire time, arms crossed, fuming in the heat. Every few minutes, she'd glance up at me. I'd give her a little wave. She never waved back. When the tow truck finally rumbled away, kicking up its own dust cloud, I sat back in my chair and smiled. Best morning I'd had in months. And here's the thing. Karen never sped down my road again. In fact, she stopped using it altogether. Started taking the long way around, the public route to the highway. Added 15 minutes to her commute. But she never came back. The dust settled. Literally. My animals relaxed. My kids started playing outside again. The peace I'd been missing for 3 months finally returned. I never told anyone what I did. Didn't need to. The road looked normal. The planks dissolved into the dirt over time. No evidence. No proof. Just a poorly maintained dirt road, and one very expensive lesson. Sometimes, you can't reason with a bully. You can't ask nicely. You can't put up signs. You can't call the cops. Sometimes, the only thing that works is making their bad behavior hurt. Real consequences. Immediate ones. And in Karen's case, 2 flat tires and a tow bill she'll never forget. My farm's quiet now. Exactly the way it's supposed to be.